Hi, I'm Esther Avant. Rich and I recently had an awesome chat here on the podcast. I'd love for you to check out my podcast, To Your Health. With over 350 episodes, it's all about helping you stop starting over and finally follow through on your goals, starting with your health. You can find it wherever you're listening now.
Hey everyone, it's Rich Bennett. Can you believe it? The show is turning 10 this year. I am so grateful for each and every one of you who've tuned in, shared an episode, or even joined the conversation over the years. You're the reason that this podcast has grown into what it is today. Together, we've shared laughs, tears, and moments that truly matter. So I want to thank you for being part of this journey. Let's make the next 10 years even better.
Coming to you from the Freedom Federal Credit Union Studios, Harford County Living presents Conversations with Rich Bennett.
Slow pitch
It's probably the least sexy part of work, and I don't have the answer. That's okay. No. The truth is...
So what do you do when the world shuts down, your job disappears, and you're staring at rock bottom with nothing but an empty bottle and a broken spirit? For Ben Albert, that moment wasn't the end. It was the spark. It's what lit his ass on fire. From being furloughed and feeling unworthy to building one of the most respected podcasts out there and running a successful marketing firm, Ben turned adversity into opportunity. He's the host of Real Business Connections, a champion for authentic conversations, and a marketing pro who's helped countless entrepreneurs find their voice and grow their brand. And in today's conversation, oh man, we're going to be talking all about all kinds of stuff. His story, what he's doing now, the podcast, probably about why, if you have a business, why aren't you on podcasts? And a little bit of everything. So those of you watching, if you see him on some of the shorts that I post, no, it is not Braun Strowman, the wrestler that lost a lot of weight. I asked in that first half. How's it going, Ben?
Dude, I'm excited to be here. That introduction makes me sound like I am a superhero or a wrestler of some kind. So,
well, you could be. Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, hell, there's nothing that's saying you can't. When people say, "Well, I'm too old," or I look at. I don't know if you ever heard of Diamond Dallas Page.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, who does the yoga and all that, and he started when he was 35. It's like, yeah, nobody's ever too old. I mean, hell, you got Ric Flair wrestled his last match at what, 70-some?
Well, Ric Flair was a marketer, and Diamond Dallas Page can probably bench press 5 of me. So,
the funny thing is, he just does the yoga. He does it, from what I know, he doesn't lift weights.
Oh wow.
But the man is, I mean, he helped me a lot, not him personally. I was up to 300 pounds and I did his yoga and I lost 50 pounds doing it.
No.
It felt good to be able to see my toes again.
Congratulations.
Yeah, amongst other things.
Hey, well, you look good. I don't know what you looked like, but you look good.
I lost a lot more now. I'm down to 232. And so this year, because I play Santa professionally, I'm going to be a skinny ass Santa. So I got to find a fat suit.
Yeah,
I think So all right, tell me about. So when you got furloughed and everything, walk us through that.
Yeah, I mean, I got to pinch myself because this was 2020. It's been almost 5 years. COVID hit. COVID hit. And that was a shared trauma. Everybody went through something that was a struggle across the entire world. I just happened to let go. I had just started in my sales executive role for a corporation, an agency, and I was the last one in, first one out. I was only there for 5 months. COVID hit, and I get let go. And, you said it in the intro, Like my dad had a serious drinking problem. I was a party animal. I was in the music scene, handing out flyers, going to bars, promoting bands before I even knew what marketing was. So I was always a music fan, but that led me to that party lifestyle. So in 2020, I hit the pinnacle of my career. I was working in, right in the middle of the city, 12th floor. Literally, my building is in pictures of the city, great location. And now, in 30 days later, there's a pandemic. I'm broke. I'm unemployed. I really didn't have any savings. I was spending it all on my entertainment life. And I did have skills. I had a music podcast at the time. I had a passion for marketing. I loved to grow, but I was a party animal and I was non-essential.
Wait a minute. What was the music podcast?
So I started a music podcast in 2016. It was called Rochester Groovecast from Rochester, New York. And I wanted to get into places for free. So I heard that if you never want to work a day in your life, do something you love. It's good advice for like a 12-year-old. It's not realistic. You got to do stuff you don't love too. But I started a music podcast, never made a penny on it, but was able to get into places for free and talk to brilliant musicians and promote my local music scene. And I didn't know at the time, all of that was preparation for that pandemic, furlough, let go. Because I started a Rochester, New York, again, Rochester local business podcast during the pandemic. It's behind me if you're watching the video. It's now called Real Business Connections. But I started Rochester Business Connections because I needed some. So it's funny how things happen for us, even if they look sloppy or there's not a bow on top.
Yeah. I was the same way. When I started this 10 years ago, it was originally after my good news website, Hartford County Living. All I wanted to do was talk to different business owners, keeping it local, and people in the county. And then I want to say, how many years now? 4 years ago, I guess. A friend of mine from TV told me to rebrand and get out of the local area and expand. Best advice that I've gotten for the podcast.
Wow.
And it blew up. But I still, the great thing I loved about that, I still got those connections locally, but like what we're doing right now, getting those connections throughout the world makes a huge difference as well. And you see it a lot of times. You see all the local business networks and they focus strictly on that. Just a local one, which is good. But you got to pick the minds of people everywhere, too, and make those connections because it's just going to help you improve, I believe.
For the self-growth, for the audience growth, for the greater impact, couldn't agree more. But I don't speak poorly about local anything. Because
I love local.
I went through this when I rebranded from Rochester to Real Business Connections and started having people from all over the place.
Yeah.
I actually started to alienate my Rochester audience and networking exclusively with alienate because it was no longer a Rochester show. And no longer I was just at one point I did 5 episodes a week. Then I went to 3. I was networking with so many local business owners that had never been on podcasts. We had never met. We were showing up in our pajama pants because it was a pandemic, even if we were a mile away. I was getting a lot of business through that. And when I rebranded to international, I actually hit a plateau for a time being. Because I was no longer the local podcast marketer connector. I was just some guy. I was a minnow in an ocean. When I was local, at least I was in a smaller pond. Now, to this day, I've grown exponentially. But I'm willing to believe that if I just stayed local, I probably would have grown exponentially just locally as well.
Right. Well, and I still talk to the local ones.
Yep.
I love recording in person. I love recording virtually too, but the in-person ones I save for when it's warmer out.
Mm.
Mainly because wintertime, well, you're in New York, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm in Maryland. So
Okay.
you know how the weather is here. It's very unpredictable, especially in the wintertime. And the last thing you want to be doing is have a scheduled in-person recording and there's a foot of snow on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, take it back. Here you get a dusting and everybody goes ape shit.
We get a foot. We get a foot.
Oh, I know you do.
I'm upstate New York, so we actually get lake effect snow is what we get that kills
You
it.
get the good snow.
It's fluffy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember doing cold weather training up there in the Marine Corps, man. That shit was deep.
Deep,
But
thick, it's fluffy, and it's
Yeah.
great for a snowball fight.
Now, with your podcast, so you're still talking to local businesses though, right?
Yeah, so I have a Rochester segment. It's no longer
Okay.
3 to 5 episodes a week, but I'll put out at least 5 to 10 local episodes each year still.
Okay. And now you get people local wise contacting you
Yeah.
to come on.
Nowadays, it's mostly referral and just
Right.
people getting nominated for the show. Like, I'm
Wait a minute, nominated.
I just like the word nomination.
Oh, okay. I like that though.
Can I do a super small micro lesson?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like the word referral. It's transactional, like referring business. Nomination is a level up, but has a similar meaning as referral.
I like
Who
that.
doesn't want to nominate someone for a program, for an opportunity, nominate them to jump on a call and possibly sign up for this program, or nominate them for the podcast? Who doesn't want to nominate a friend? And even better than that, who doesn't want to be nominated?
I like
when someone
that.
says, hey, I have a couple referrals for businesses that want to sell their services on your podcast. I'm like, ugh. But if I hear, hey, I want to nominate someone for a show that I think could add value to your audience, it's still a similar meaning, but it's just way, way nicer with a big old bow on top.
Yeah, because you think of award shows,
Yep.
different awards. People love to be nominated for those.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, thanks, Ben. That's one tip I am definitely going to use now.
Nominate.
I like that.
You can ask me. I can ask you. For example, you could, after this show, you can go, hey, Ben, is there anyone you'd like to nominate for this show? And there's a high probability. I know a lot of people. All the way
Right.
around, I could be as a podcaster. Do you know any other hosts that you think you could nominate me to be a guest? So again,
Right.
it's just, it's a small linguistic change, but
yeah,
it works.
I love that. I love that idea. That's brilliant. Actually, because I mean, you and I connected through Podmatch, so we see different business owners on there from everywhere. They're doing it. They're getting out there guesting on podcast. Do you find, especially in your area, even though you can tell people to your blue in the face how important it is, business owners, to get on a podcast, that some of them just either don't believe that, or I don't want to say they're afraid to, just
Sure.
don't believe it, or they, the classic line, they don't have time.
Yeah. Well, I don't know the question. What's the question? 'Cause I don't think everyone should get on a podcast.
All right, who shouldn't get on a podcast? Well,
Lots.
besides people that don't know how to talk.
Well, and in the question was like telling them, I won't tell anybody anything till I'm blue in the face. If I'm talking
Right.
to a wall, it's a waste of my. I'm looking at a blue wall, so apparently
Yeah.
I've made the wall blue in the face with all my rambling over the time. But let me give you a simple example, and I actually think they might be a fantastic fit for a podcast, but they're a better fit elsewhere.
Okay.
Big smile, life of the party, energy, great eye contact. They're the kind of person that enters a room and people are gravitated towards them.
They
make quick introductions. That person, go to a chamber event, go to conferences, go and take that big, beautiful energy and meet as many people as possible. And in a lot of cases, boom, like that is an incredible way to talk about your business, get to know people, build an audience. Right. Sure, there's other things like have a podcast, have social media, have a YouTube account. Depends on what they do in their skill set. But that person might not need to go on podcasts to accomplish the same goals as the person going on a podcast. I am very introverted in a big crowd, and I can talk to someone all day if it's an interesting conversation. Generally, I'm at that networking event. I generally know a few people, and I go 5 to 10 layers deep with those people, and that's one of my skill sets, building a strong relationship with less rather than impressing all. But that works in the podcast space because you and I get to have a one-to-one conversation, not a lot of clinking, not a lot of drinks, this and that. So my environment is different than the environment of the big, bold energy that can run a networking event. So I think the true thing that I would talk till I'm blue in the face is get in the right environment that allows your skill sets come into play. And if you want to be a speaker, if you want to be good at sales, if you want to become a compelling communicator, podcasting is a brilliant way to get very sharp on those skill sets. Yeah. But I'm not going to tell anyone it's the only way, but it is a darn good one.
Oh, no, definitely not the only way. And there are people that, podcast wouldn't make sense. But I do feel like there are a lot of different types of businesses out there where they could just reach more people by, getting on a podcast, especially something like yours or other business podcasts or even mine I've had it happen to where businesses come on and talk about their business, even though they're local. Yeah. They're reaching people in other states, countries, or whatever. You never know where people are going to move from. Somebody can move into that area and there'll be and it's happened with me. Hey, we heard about so-and-so on Ben's podcast and we need that. But I don't remember the name of the company. I remember Ben's podcast and they could do it that way. But there are a lot of interesting businesses and owners that I've seen just locally here, and even authors. An author that is a business, but for some reason they just I don't know. I offer it to them, and some of them will say they're interested, and that's as far as it goes. Nowhere else. But a lot of them do come on, and they do see a difference or see a difference.
I mean, if you're an author, and you're self-promoting and you want to sell more books and maybe get consulting gigs, or even better, get speaking gigs where you do a reading and a presentation, you want to get on more podcasts. There is probably 2 out of 10. I might even be conservative with that number. 2 out of 10 authors that they just don't know how to speak. And that's true. Okay, because they're a brilliant writer. They jump on a podcast and it's like, Rich, stick to writing. But in most cases, it's an incredible promotional tool. If you have a book and you want to get that message out to more people, because what's wild but true, not everyone's going to read your book, but they will listen to you on a podcast, get the message, and change their lives.
Yeah. Actually, because you've been podcasting for a while as well, is there any time or times where you've had a guest on and no matter what, you just cannot get anything out of them? It's like short yes and no answers, even if you're asking open-ended questions.
Sure. Could I not get anything out of them? The answer's I've been able to get something out of every guest. There are some people that it is far more difficult. Yeah. And then you have 2 options as a host. You just take over the show and just become the entertainer, and you did radio for quite some time. You just lead the show. Or you find ways to make that guest as good as possible, even if you're struggling to get something out of them. And I don't want to get too detailed because I don't want to put anyone on blast. And it actually was a pretty decent show. But this guy loves fishing. He loves wilderness. And I couldn't get him to talk. But then the moment we got into exactly what fly fishing was and like what kind of boots do I need to wear, and like what's the difference between being on the ground and being in the water, and and I didn't know what I was talking about, so I was at a 101 level. But he just sat there and taught me for the next 20 minutes. So it wasn't that he didn't have anything to say. It was just finding the talking point that could bring the best out of him. So that's always my goal as a host, or honestly as a guest as well, to bring the best out of the other person. But you're not wrong. Some people are more difficult than others.
Oh, yeah. I mean, granted, I think it's only happened. Well, it has. It's only happened one time with me. And now, granted, I was his first podcast he's ever been on. But, and I think, I think I know why. I think he was scared because I had two women as co-hosts, and we did it in person. And I think he may have felt intimidated.
Yeah.
Because when we were done and the two women left, Ben, I shit you not, man, I could not get the guy to shut up. Oh, he just kept on talking and talking. I'm like, where the hell were you?
It sounds like he had a crush. Sounds like he had a crush on something.
I think so. I think so, because he was between both of the women. So, yeah, I mean,
he's trying to play it cool. He's trying to play it cool.
Yeah. It was kind of funny in a way, but I mean, that's probably, out of all the episodes I've done, that's one that I wasn't able to release. And there was another one I wasn't able to release when it happened during COVID. I had just gotten my mixing board and never did anything virtual. So I had the lady call in, plug my cell phone into the mixing board. But you know how cell phones work. Mm-hmm. And it kept fading in and out. So I couldn't post that one. And then the other one, which was an excellent conversation. I mean, I thought it was great. And then it was weird. I got an email from her like a week later insisting that I do not post it. It's like, okay. That's all I'm going to say about that. It was strange. Actually, because you're still doing marketing, right? The marketing business?
100%.
All right. So how many of your guests have actually turned into clients?
Never counted. That's actually a good metric to be able to answer that question easily with. What makes it slightly difficult to answer that question is I have a mastermind, then I have a marketing firm, then I have a podcast agency. So the mastermind, numerous members have been on the show, 10 to 20. 10 to 20, probably be out 10 to 20. And here's the thing, and it's a good metric to have. I appreciate you asking that. What I'm thinking, I'm literally verbally processing, I can see the tree. Maybe 10 to 20 became a client who was a guest.
Okay.
But you can multiply that by 2 to 3 when you're referring to people that were nominated from a guest. Yeah. So a guest comes on. I'm never pitching my guests. That's never that's not why it is a good business development tool, but I'm not there to pitch my guest.
Right.
It's generally the person that my guest introduces me to that becomes my client. Because let's go back to the local example, or any niche. I just happen to do Rochester, New York local, but any niche, if you become known in that space, I'm having on Rochester business owners. Rochester business owners know other business owners. So do they become my client? Sure, some had websites, logo designs. We did social media together, those kind of things. But more often than not, they became my advocate, not my client.
Yes.
And that's the bigger win. That's why my brain started to circulate, because, a handful have became clients, but far more were just friends of friends. And it's just amazing where the podcast can take us.
But, and the other way around that, how many of your clients have actually, let me rephrase this. How many of your clients ended up being on your podcast, but after they were already clients?
A handful.
Okay.
And don't ask me numbers. I was watching.
All right, so yeah, a handful's a good answer.
So I have a personal trainer. He showed me this podcast called Financial Audit. And basically it's these people that are like entrepreneurial and they're just terrible with money. He's a financial advisor and he's kind of there to help them, but he really just yells at them and makes fun of them the whole time. It's very hard. It's very hard to listen to. I listened to it comedically, but it was hard to listen to. And I was telling you, like, I've had a bad couple days, and I think part of it is last night I was thinking to myself, if I was on his podcast, he would just tear me apart. You don't know what your subscription services are. You don't know what your annual gross revenue is. You don't know what you're making per month. You don't know how many clients you have. And I have ballparks, but like, dang, don't ask me numbers. It exposed me.
But I'm glad you brought that up, though, because when it comes to podcasting, that's something you hear all the time. People ask you, well, how many listeners do you have? How many?
Yeah. Who's my guest?
Nobody freaking knows.
I mean, I can tell you my average monthly listeners, but it depends on the guest. It depends on the title, YouTube,
the platform.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I mean, as of now, there's really no tool that can really tell you true count of listeners that you have.
No.
I mean, now, and I want to say even radio, they really can't because, and this is an argument I always got into when I was doing sales and radio, because he said, well, no, they can tell the cum numbers, who's listening, all that crap. Okay, well, if you have a van full of people, it's still only showing as one listener. And there could be 10 people in that van. And the same thing, it's true of podcasts as well. So you really can't tell. And go ahead, you're going to say something.
Well, what complicates it even more is, let's say someone watches a YouTube video for 30 seconds, listen to your podcast for 30 seconds. Sometimes you can auto download and they don't even listen, but you get credit for the download because their player auto downloads. You got credit for that 30 seconds. Someone also might have watched one of the reels that I posted on Instagram for 45 seconds. The 30-second podcast listener and the 45-second reel is actually the same amount of time listening to the podcast, but they go into different metrics. What I want more than anything, more than just the quantity, is just the retention of time.
Yeah.
Because a true listener is there for 80% or more of the show, or ideally 100% of it. Because, you take the YouTube reels, you take the graphics, you take the podcast, you take the YouTube, you take that there's Spotify and Apple, and then 500 other different podcast apps. And it's hard to track. But what I really look for more than anything is just engaging the audience. That's more important than any vanity number, because are they a 1 second listen or a 1 hour listen? That's a big difference.
That's one of the things I do love is when your listeners reach out to you and thank you for an episode that they heard and they learned from it. That's when you know you're really doing something right, you know? And it feels so good. I think that's probably the biggest reward that you can really get out of it.
Yeah, so assuming not everyone makes it to the absolute end, I want to tell the listener today to just go reach out to Rich right now. Hey, I'm listening to the podcast. Leave the 5-star review right now. You've got plenty of time to do it while you listen. Don't pull over the car, get in an accident. Make sure you check the stop signs if you're running. Don't pull out your phone. But if you can pull out your phone and leave a review right now, do that right now. And Rich, we just got like 1,000 people reach out to us right in this moment. That was pretty cool.
And while you're at it, also go to realbusinessconnections.com realbusinessconnections.com, right?
Yeah, that's a website.
Yeah, but they can catch your podcast from there, right?
It's some wrestler does that podcast.
I should have never brought up the Braun Strowman thing, man. It'd be even funnier if you get a call from him.
Like, you're using my name, image, and likeness.
Yeah, I'm coming up to New York, son. We're going to meet in the ring. Run, Ben, run. God.
He's probably a foot taller than me, so I think my best move would just be to smack him in the balls or something. I don't know.
There's a guy from here. I'll never forget this. His name's James Ellsworth. I don't even know. He maybe, I'm guessing here, and James, if I get it wrong, I apologize. He might be 5'10", maybe 180 pounds.
Okay.
But he went up against this guy, Braun Strowman, in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
He was what you at that time called a jobber. It was his time. And he says, as long as I got two hands, I'm ready to fight. That's what James said. But I tell you one thing, holy shit. The way Strowman hit him, you could feel it. And I know he had to be hurt. When you see the red on the chest,
sure,
you know it had to hurt. It definitely had to hurt. You mentioned masterminds.
Yes, sir.
Which is something that I think you hear of people have, join networking groups, but you don't hear a lot about mastermind groups. How long have you been doing the mastermind group, and when did that start?
About 1.5 years.
Okay.
So this is for everyone who's listening. We just launched a new community that's for everyone, not just mastermind members.
Okay.
It's at weallgrowtogether.com. Weallgrowtogether.com. So Grow Getters Only started as networking events. We started networking events. We would raise money for charities, bring in speakers, primarily virtual networking events. And I started that with my co-host, Andrew Biernat, 3 years ago.
Really?
And about 1.5 years ago, it was the best feedback of all time, and everybody would love themselves. And people would say, hey, Ben, you really should be charging for this. And I would say, Rich, I don't plan on charging for this. I want to just do this to give back to the people that want to grow together. And they'd say, well, I want to do more of this, or I want something more specialized. So we launched the mastermind, which now I'm calling the Grow Getters Only Inner Circle, specifically for those people that want that deeper dive, that weekly accountability. We bring in mentors that do Ask Me Anythings. Chris Van Vliet's a great example. He's got the number one wrestling podcast in the world. He did an Ask Me Anything for the Inner Circle. So that's an example. Yeah, it's been kick-ass. We could talk about this all day, but We All Grow Together just launched, and it's meant to be a catch-all for the world. So we have a monthly networking event. Then we have a mastermind that meets weekly. It's called the Inner Circle. And then weallgrowtogether.com is that discussion forum where there's, AI, LinkedIn, marketing, podcasting. There's different forums and threads, and then it hosts the event calendar for all of it. So this has been a long time coming, but it's a little bit of all of it. It's free virtual events. It's a virtual community, and then an inner circle as well. And that's the gist of weallgrowtogether.com.
And that's hosted on School?
Yes.
Am I looking at that? All right.
Correct.
You're listening to Conversations with Rich Bennett. We'll be right back. I want to take a moment to tell you about the Harford County Chamber of Commerce. As a proud member, I can tell you firsthand that being part of the chamber feels like being part of a family. They've got your back, whether you're a small business owner or leading a larger enterprise. I've experienced firsthand the genuine connections and unwavering support that the chamber offers to local businesses. Joining the chamber isn't just about business growth. It's about being part of a community that thrives on helping each other succeed. They offer incredible resources, networking opportunities, and events that truly bring us together, strengthening not just our businesses, but our bonds within the community. So whether you're a startup or a seasoned business, the Harford County Chamber of Commerce welcomes you with open arms Become a member today and experience this supportive community firsthand. Trust me, it's like becoming part of a new family, ready to help you flourish. Visit hartfordchamber.org. Again, that's hartfordchamber.org to learn more. The Hartford County Chamber of Commerce, where business meets community. A lot of people don't know about Skool, SKOOL.
It's fantastic.
That's what I've heard. I'm a member of it, but I haven't created anything on it yet.
Yeah, so Skool, darn, I forget the number, but I think I pay $89 a month, $99 a month, something like that. So
Right.
as a host of a Skool community, it's one flat fee, period. You can have 2 members, you can have 200,000 members. So from a scalability standpoint, it's fantastic. You're paying for access to the software. So if you want to build a community, it's great for a scalability standpoint. From a user standpoint, it's just set up to be fun. It's gamified where there's leaderboards. There's a weekly, a monthly, and an annual leaderboard. If you get enough points, you level up. If you want to gamify your system, you can basically, as a school owner, have certain trainings or certain events you're required to be at a certain level to get access to. For example, you might have a free training, but you need to get to level 5 to access the training. So it gets people to engage, because every time you get a comment on your post or a like on your post, you get a point. So it's taking community, it's gamifying it. It makes it fun, discussion forum. It's like a Facebook group or those kind of things, a LinkedIn group, but just that much better.
Right.
And then as a host, you get to post your courses there. You can post trainings. All my mastermind replays are there, but you'll see it when you go to weallgrowtogether.com.
I'm there.
I think it auto-accepted you. You won't have access to the paid items. It'll say sign up or unlock at level 9. So it's a way for me to integrate my free community with my paid community, so all these entrepreneurs and leaders can grow together no matter what tier they're on in the process.
And who are some of the people you got in this besides Chris?
As the guest mentors?
Yeah.
I mean, I can name drop. I don't know who we know and don't know, but Mark Schaefer is one of the most prolific writers on marketing, content marketing, community building. Jordan Harbinger is one of the biggest podcasters of all time.
He's awesome.
Yeah, Cal Fussman's coming in next month, so he'll be in there soon. He was best friends with Larry King. He's interviewed everyone from Oprah to Gorbachev to anyone you can think of working for Esquire magazine. He co-wrote Larry King's book. He's going to be in there. Jimmy Sonny wrote the book on PayPal. Just lots of smart entrepreneurs. And yeah, man, it's fun.
So this is something that basically I would say any entrepreneur should definitely be a part of.
Yeah, and weallgrowtogether.com. This is starting to sound like an infomercial. You're not going to gain access to those replays unless you join the inner circle. So there's the greater community, and then there's the inner circle mastermind. But this is an infomercial accidentally. I charge $1 for 30 days, so people can go in, and then the price goes up, but they can come in, meet everyone, watch the replays, and then just say, so long, farewell, or they can stay in if they think it's a good fit.
I was going to say, but with the people that you just mentioned, it would be well worth it anyways. You think about it. You go to a symposium, seminar, whatever you want to call it, where you see these speakers on stage, you're going to pay an arm and a leg to see them.
Correct.
And then guess what? It's going to be gone. You're not going to, you're not going to see it anymore because it was in person.
And you know what's going to happen, Rich? You're going to see them. When you're in a community where there's only 20 some attendees and it's an AMA that's 60 minutes long, that's about 10 to 15 people that get to ask a question in that 60 minutes. So you aren't just seeing someone, you're actually getting to bring your issues and problems to the table. Yeah, that's and enough about that. As a mastermind in general is meant to give that kind of support. Right. So it's peer-to-peer support. There's networking, there's workshops, and I think any good mastermind brings in guest mentors to educate the group, because I'm there as like the leader, but I'm a servant leader. It's about the peer-to-peer. I bring in people smarter than me to do those AMAs, and that's smart. The power of that kind of format. And I'm a huge advocate for that kind of. It has nothing to do with me. If someone's not in a peer support group, a mastermind of some kind, they're missing a good opportunity there.
Absolutely. We're actually going to be doing a roundtable recording on brainstorming in a mastermind group.
Love it.
Because it just blows me away how many you don't see a lot of, at least where I'm at, you don't see a lot of mastermind groups. You see a lot of networking groups, but you don't see a lot of mastermind groups, and which is why I've been teasing one that I'm going to be starting next month. And
well, tell me. I'd love to hear about it as soon as you can tell me,
Oh, I'm going to be sending you an invite, brother.
Cool.
It's called the Uplift Collective, and it's me and actually one of my sponsors, actually two of my sponsors, we've been talking about doing this, and it's basically and it'll be a limited amount of people because we want to limit the meetings to 1 hour once a month virtually.
Okay. So
each person for a couple minutes will tell their struggles they've had for the past month and then their wins. And then and then we just brainstorm on how we can help those struggles, how you can make them wins even winnier.
Winnier.
Is that a word? Yeah, it's a word. I just said it.
Make them greater.
Yeah. Thank you. Because when you get different minds especially from different types of businesses, holy shit, man, it just increases. Well, you said it already. You're behind this, but you're bringing in the people that know more about it or know more about things than you do, and that's how you learn. Yeah, I think it was Henry Ford said that he may not know how to do something. That's why he brings in the people that he surrounds himself with that knows how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you become successful. I got to ask you this, because of your marketing background, and I want to get into the podcasting part here. With your marketing background and your podcasting, and you see podcasters always struggle with this. For those people that are listening that are podcasters or want to get into podcasting, what have you found for your podcast to be the best type of marketing so far?
Oh, that's such a big question. The best type of marketing for your podcast.
Some of the best types.
Well, that's so this isn't the answer people want ever when I talk about marketing, but the best marketing is a good product. I'd rather have the greatest product on earth. Let's just say, for example, I have kale that tastes like chocolate pudding, or I have broccoli that tastes like PB&J. That product's going to market itself. All I need is two people. All I need is two people, and we'll get to 2 million quickly because I have something that is just unbreakably good. Now, most of us don't have that. I don't have that. Most of us kind of have commodities, and what I mean by that is there's just a ton of competition. A lot of people are vanilla. It's hard to stand out sometimes. So I say primarily I'd rather have the best product than the best marketing in the world, because I think the best marketing is a good product. What does this mean in this example? Make your podcast actually worth listening to. Allow your guests to have an incredible experience, because your guests could become an advocate. They could become a client, a mentor, a friend. So create a good process for booking them. Host a great interview. Do good follow-up. Create amazing follow-up materials, social materials. Get the best editor you can. Now, none of this is required to start in podcasting. I don't want to overwhelm anyone. All that's required is clicking record and being the best goddarn host you can, and then doing great follow-up. You don't need $1 million editor overnight. You just need to show up and do the best you can with the tools you've got. But the better tools you have, the better you do, the better the podcast experience is, the better you connect with your listener, the easier it is to pitch a sponsor, the easier it is to turn a client into an affiliate partner, and easier it is to pitch your own product on your podcast and get people to say yes because they trust you as a host. So I think we can talk about social media. We can talk about ads. We can talk about getting Apple reviews. But the most important thing, and this is the musician, the creative in me coming out, the most important thing is creating a good product for the people consuming it. Everything else is in addition to amplifying that great experience you create.
What about consistency?
That's huge. I don't think it's required.
Okay.
A lot of answers I can give you. I can give you either of them.
Right.
So I consistently put stuff out, but I used to do 5 episodes a week and I overwhelmed the listener. Then I did 3. Now I'm doing 1, and an episode came out late. It came out Wednesday instead of Monday. And if I lost subscribers, I don't think I did. If people are complaining that I'm 2 days late, that's actually a good sign that they're engaged. But it's hard to build an audience if you can't match their expectations at all. So if you're putting out an episode once every 6 months, you're consistently doing one every 6 months, but your frequency isn't high enough. So I think this is actually where I froze up for a second. I think you can choose your frequency once a week, once a month at minimum, once every other week. But consistency, I agree with you. If you promise your audience you're going to do something, you got to do it. And that's part of creating a great solution. And I hope the non-podcasters hear this and take it to heart with not even just their business. Maybe they work for a company. If you work for a company, if you have a business, regardless, you do the best job possible. You go to bed knowing my hands got dirty and I did all I could in my power to deliver what results I could for the people that needed them. And if you do that every single day, you will either create or help create a good product or service that stands the test of time. And the marketer in me is bored of marketing because the greatest marketing is a long-term brand. It's trust. And you can't do that if you put out crap. Rant over.
Something you do on your podcast, which I guess in a way is, well, not really similar, but you have panel discussions.
Yeah.
Whereas we do the round tables, which is, I guess you could say it's a little bit different. Explain to people about these panel discussions that you have, because I know it's not every episode. And what you guys really cover on it, because I think I love it. That's a great idea. I love listening to panel discussions and even roundtables, because it's like that mastermind group all over again. You're getting different inputs from everybody.
Yeah. I'll break it down to 3 major benefits. The first major benefit is I know a little bit about a lot of things, but I can't go 10 layers deep on AI. I can't go 10 layers deep in HR. I haven't worked in that compliance world. I can go 10 layers deep on marketing, but you want peers that know aspects of marketing you don't. So when I have an AI discussion, a marketing, an HR, a leadership discussion, I am the dumbest person in the room. At least I play that role. And then I'll have 2 to 3 panelists that will actually feed ideas off each other. And it just makes for a higher level. It's more like an advanced conversation where I'm pulling my hair out trying to track them because they're smarter than me. That just is what it is. So the big benefit there is you just the whole group gets more advanced and brilliant in that process. The other big benefit, this is a quick and easy one, I get to connect people live in real time. I want to make the introduction anyways. Let's make the introduction together, click record and everyone's like, wow, I love that panel. And then they become friends afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
The third big benefit is, let's say I put out an episode and I give it to Rich, and I know Rich will promote it, but let's just use Zach instead. Zach, who doesn't like to promote. So Zach doesn't promote crap, and it's still a good episode, not the end of the world. But what happens when I have 3 podcast guests? Maybe one of them's a Zach and 2 of them's a Rick. Maybe 3 of them's a Rick.
Right.
I'm not convinced the panelist discussions are my quote unquote best episodes. I like the deep dive 1-to-1s.
Yeah.
But they're some of the most popular episodes because 4 people promote it rather than 1 to 2. So you have the benefit,
Smart.
audience growth, connecting people, and better overall advanced conversations are the 3 main reasons panels are good, in my opinion. And I think some of the self-deprecation is, as a host, they're actually difficult. I'm still learning how to make them as good as possible.
Learning never stops, Ben.
Oh, dude, I know.
Hell, I'm still learning stuff all the time. All the time. And I'm old. So, all right. Tell people why they should listen to Real Business Connections.
I hate you want me to be all...
Yeah, dude, I want you to... Hey, look, I've listened to it. I fell in love with it. And I know that a lot of my listeners out there, once they listen to your podcast, they're going to continue listening as well. And especially the business, the entrepreneurs.
I didn't do that on purpose, but you just did what I prefer. Why listen to my podcast? Because Rich loves it. Why listen? Because there's people like Chris Van Vliet, the biggest wrestling podcast in the world, has been on twice. Jordan Harbinger has been on the show twice. Hala Taha, who's got one of the biggest entrepreneurship podcasts, has been a guest on the show. Why listen to my podcast? I don't know, because my guests kick ass and the audience love it. One thing I hate about marketing and sales is when I love conviction. I know it's a great podcast, but I'm not here to just shove it down someone's throat and sell it to them. I think that the guests and the reviews speak for themselves.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I always lean on. That's why you're like, tell them why they should listen. I don't know. Maybe they shouldn't listen. Maybe they want to learn how to go do chalk.
Needlepoint or something.
If they want to do chalk art, I'm not the podcast for you. If they want to do wild water fly fishing, I'm not the podcast for you. If they want to make more money and more connections, I might be I don't know. Maybe check it out. You tell me. Who am I to judge?
Oh, God. Before we started recording, you and I were talking, and you mentioned about how, some people, entrepreneurs, after a while, they get tired of what they're doing. And then they turn around and they sell their business.
Yeah.
And you've been podcasting for, was it 5 years now? No, wait a minute.
So I started the music show in 2016. I started the business show in the pandemic, so 2020.
2020.
Yeah.
But the fact is, you're still podcasting.
Correct.
Did you think back then that you would ever be doing this?
No.
How much do you really love doing this?
Sometimes I wonder how I'm still alive, Rich.
I wonder that too, but it's not because of the podcast. It's because of the stupid shit I've done.
Oh, exactly.
In the past.
And I tell that joke that, like, there's great advice. I can never say anything negative about it. Begin with the end in mind. I have not done that. But I have began with what's right in front of me. Mm-hmm. I didn't think I'd be a podcaster. There was no Joe Rogan on my wall. Never thought I'd be an entrepreneur. There was no Bezos or Brene Brown or Tony Robbins on my wall. I just did what was right in front of me, and it led me here, and I'm grateful for it. But I got to pinch myself because we didn't go down a dark, depressing talk, which we could have, but you mentioned – like 2020 broke drinking problem. Yeah. I've got demons. And if it wasn't for these kinds of conversations, I might let the demons take hold of me, but I don't allow them to, because entrepreneurship, podcasting, connecting with brilliant people is really what gets me up in the morning and keeps me optimistic about a great future. And who knows where I'm going and who knows how I got here. Sometimes I'm just a feather in the wind, and we'll see where it takes me.
Keep going, brother. Don't ever freaking stop, because the shit you're doing is kicking ass.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it, man. And the big thing is people are learning from you.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you for that, because I'm learning from it. And the people that you have on, hell, it's like going back to school in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
you know what's funny?
What?
Not to
don't let me guess. I look like one of your old teachers?
No. It's this happened accidentally, but the Grow Getters Only brand is like a chalkboard green with handwritten text. So when we decided to use SKOOL, which is school spelled incorrectly, as our platform, we're like the greatest brand to be on school, because it's chalkboard text. We're on school.com, and it's basically school for grown-ups at like 1/100,000th of the price.
Yeah. What is the guy? I forget. God, the guy's name is going out of my head that started school. Ben? No.
I could look it up. So Alex Hermosi bought...
That's what I'm thinking of.
So Alex Hermosi created the School Games, which was like a marketing promotional thing they did. I think he bought equity. It might be 50-50, but he's a partner. Sam Green, it'll come to me. He didn't found School, but now he's one of the leading partners. He's a big part of why School blew up.
I've been hearing so many people lately, even especially guests that I've had on, that are using School, and what's the other one? Substack.
Sam Ovens was the original founder. Ovens. Yeah.
Okay. But it seems like everybody I've talked to that is using School loves it.
Yeah.
And I've heard some people leave Substack, but I haven't heard of anybody leaving School. That just, I'm sorry, after saying that just sounded so weird. I never heard of anybody leaving school.
I used to
They haven't graduated yet.
I used to leave school to go to Subway. Subway?
I used to leave school to go up into the woods, and never mind. Ben, why do you got to go there, man?
That's why I needed the Subway. I needed the Subway just in case I needed a bite to eat.
Oh man, God! I'm going to have flashbacks about school. I mean, old school, not school that. Never mind. This is getting too damn confusing. It's hurting my head. Anyways,
if anyone, so far it's a free group, but so far not a single person has left it. If someone does leave, they call it churned. If they do leave, I'm going to have to send them a message. Did I give you flashbacks? Did I give you flashbacks?
Yeah. Holy shit, man. Wow. Holy cow.
I didn't know this was a comedy podcast.
Hey, you know what? Here's the funny thing. No pun intended. But I mean, because we have a lot of serious conversations. I talk to a lot of people in recovery.
Sure.
And there's times where, of course, they've got me crying, not from laughter, but because of their stories.
Yeah.
But there's some times that we're just rolling and laughing so damn hard. And I keep saying that I'm going to do some episodes like outtakes.
Okay.
Especially when we started doing the ones with my one co-host, because she kept messing up. But Wendy, I'm talking about you, and I still got those old recordings. Talking about a lot of editing then. But, it's... you got to laugh. You got to laugh, man. Let me tell you something, because when you first came on, you were talking about how you've been down this week and everything.
Yeah.
But laughing, how are you feeling now?
Real good.
There you go.
What I said, and I'll say it for the listener, is the short version is I listened to a financial podcast where he basically just spits on people's face the whole time and makes fun of them for being bad with finances. That's part of why I brought that up today. And I had a rough quarter, and I was thinking about my life because I had a rough quarter. So I pull out my phone and I go to Google and I search, how many years into entrepreneurship do people get burnt out? And I said, the whole thing, 1 to 2 years, you get really excited. 2 to 3 years, you're still a little excited, but like the fact you have to scale and the amount of work kind of catches up. And then 4 years, like a lot of people start to get burned out. And then 5 years, people either quit or sell. And I don't plan on quitting or selling.
Good.
I have zero, and I'm doing okay financially. Things are going incredible. They have grown substantially, but we talk about staring at a bottle of Jim Beam whiskey. We talk about Googling things. Am I burnt out? Am I going to be okay? We all have those moments.
Yeah.
And I'm extending this to tell a story, but you said it. Laughter is one of the greatest anecdotes. It's one of the greatest medicines. When you have moments like that, I'm going to a comedy show tonight. You think tomorrow I'm going to wake up and be complaining about what I Googled? I'm going to be laughing.
Wait a minute. Who are you going to see?
I don't know.
Some comedian.
So the 2-sentence version is in Rochester, New York. We have an incredible comedy club called Comedy at the Carlson. There's a big stage and a little stage. A friend of mine's friend from college is performing.
Okay.
So we're going to see kind of a no-name, but it'll probably fill up the room like 50 to 100 people. And I forget his name, but it's comedy. Like, as long as he makes me laugh.
Never know. It could be the next Robin Williams, man.
Yes, sir. Oh, I got to check his arms first.
Jesus Christ.
You ever seen his arms? His arms have more hair.
Bigfoot, man.
His arms have more hair than me and you on the top of our head combined.
Oh, man. Oh, God. It's just...
Bigfoot.
Yeah, Bigfoot was hairy.
Yeah, he was all hair.
God, man. Oh, shit. Ben, before I get to my last question, is there anything you would like to add?
Oh, man. We already said it midway through.
Oh.
These conversations wouldn't happen. I'm trying to promote you for a second, Rich.
I'm sorry. I'm just thinking of hairy asshole.
So these conversations wouldn't happen without our host. So I wanted to thank you, Rich. And the best way, like wherever you're listening or watching, if it's YouTube, you hit thumbs up and leave a comment. If it's Apple, you hit 5 stars and leave a review. If it's Spotify, you hit 5 stars. Maybe you leave a comment or review. Do whatever you can to support, because we didn't talk about this much. And it's one of the reasons that you probably shouldn't get into podcasting sometimes is it's a lot of work. Yeah. It is a lot of work, and it's not beyond me. And I hope it's not beyond the listener how much you put into this. So show some love for Rich, and that's my parting words, my friend.
Well, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. And those of you listening, make sure you go check out Ben's podcast as well, Real Business Connections, because trust me, you are going to learn from it. And those of you that are entrepreneurs, make sure you go check out his school. Oh, we all grow together.
Yeah, so weallgrowtogether.com. And if you click on courses, there's actually a section for the podcast where we highlight our most popular episodes. So I'd encourage people to do that. Just go to weallgrowtogether.com. You'll find the podcast there, and you'll surround yourself with cool people. So.
All right. So, Ben, my last question for you.
Yeah.
And I haven't asked this one in a while. Unless you want me to ask one of the questions that some of my guests submit. It's up to you.
They submit it to you?
My guests will, not my guests, my listeners will send questions for me to ask different guests that come on.
Yeah.
Some of them are out there.
Okay.
Most of the ones that are really out there are the ones from my son. But no, they send in some good questions.
Well, you set the bar high with out there. So ask me a question that I didn't expect to get asked.
Oh, God, you would have to. Okay.
One of my favorite, Rich, one of my favorite closing questions is that, and I say it in different ways. But for example, my buddy Brian, I had him on the podcast and I said, Ashley, his wife, if Ashley had a podcast, what would she ask you that I would have never thought of asking you? Those questions are fun.
You know what? Then I'm going to ask you the question that I started asking some people.
Okay, let's do it.
And this can get deep. And I found I never thought about this because I've always given the same answer when somebody asked me this. And then we mentioned wrestling earlier, and I was watching this interview with a wrestler. And they asked him about regrets.
Yeah.
And what's the normal thing when somebody says, do you have any regrets? No regrets, right? That's the normal answer that most people give. And this wrestler said, anybody that says that hasn't learned.
Sure.
Because you should learn from your regrets.
Huh.
So my question to you is, what is one regret that you actually have learned from?
So we talk about the imagery of an empty bottle of Jim Beam whiskey. When you put it in a bio or in a story, it sounds like a single moment in time. You can multiply that moment in time by hundreds of bottles. And I'm not saying anything wrong with people that drink. I still will drink a little bit for recreational, but opening that bag of worms, there's thousands of regrets.
Right.
From the things you said, to the actions you didn't take, to the damage I did on my body, to the people that I had relationships with that were bad for me or I was bad for. A lot of people talk about self-growth and self-love and kind of like me time. And they think I got to meditate more, I got to exercise more, or I got to get more massages or go out with the girls. I got to get my nails done more. It's usually not adding that we need to do. This is what I've found. It's actually subtraction. There's things in our life that make us better and things that make us bitter. It's the better stuff that I like to take. You can even do an exercise, write all the stuff that make you better, write all the stuff that make you bitter. And you're like, how do I have the time to be better? I'm busy. You just get rid of the bitter stuff because I was so darn optimized, but you can optimize all day. If you're doing things that make you bitter, it's going to hurt you. So I appreciate you allowing me to reflect there, but it's not like I chugged a bottle, looked at it, and just became Superman. It was a lot of sad moments that led me to that level of clarity that I had lots of good habits, but lots of bad ones. And it wasn't adding good ones. It wasn't self-love. It wasn't self-care that I needed. It was actually getting rid of the stuff that was causing the good stuff to not work, if that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. I did the same thing, and it's amazing how it'll turn your life around.
Yeah.
So Ben, I want to thank you, brother. The door is always open anytime you want to come back. And if you ever make it down to Maryland, hit me up and we'll go get some we'll go get some really true good steamed crabs.
Nice. Are you right by the water?
Oh, I'm right on the Chesapeake Bay, baby.
All right, let's see. Tomorrow's Friday. You free?
Ben, thanks a lot, man.
Thanks for having me. It was fun.
Thank you for listening to Conversations with Rich Bennett. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and learned something from it as I did. If you'd like to hear more conversations like this, be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. And if you have a moment, I'd love it if you could leave a review. It helps us reach more listeners and share more incredible stories. Don't forget to connect with us on social media or visit our website at conversationswithrichbennett.com for updates, giveaways, and more. Until next time, take care, be kind, and keep the conversations going. You know, it takes a lot to put a podcast together, and my sponsors help out a lot, but I also have some supporters that actually help me when it comes to the editing software, the hosting, and so forth. There's a lot that goes into putting this together. So I want to thank them. And if you can, please visit their websites, visit their businesses, support them however you can. So please visit the following: Real Life Prosthetics, cutting edge solutions, restoring ability since 2001. Go to reallifeprosthetics.com. Full Circle Boards. Nobody does charcuterie like Full Circle Boards. Visit them at fullcircleboards.com. Sincerely Sawyer Photography. Live in the moment. They'll capture it. Visit them at sincerelysawyer.com.